we agree there was involvement. That's something we agree on, but where we disagree is like about what is a G, and if it was dominated by, that's basically where we disagree at, and that's my position. Basically, the trades, plantations, smuggling, etc. They were dominated by. I don't think they're white. I think are not white. Basically, where do you stand?
I stand with being white because, but first of all, I want to hear your definition of what whiteness is. Just
Well,
let's start right there.
of a whiteness, I mean, someone who comes from Europe. How about that?
So, so Benjamin Netanyahu's his ancestry comes from Poland. So is he not white?
Well, no, that's the issue. Is you think Ashkenazi don't have Levantian DNA? That's the issue, right?
No, they have European DNA.
No,
They're just European.
well,
They're
I
European
cited.
converts. They're European converts.
Well, I cited that study to you in our DMs earlier to show that they actually have more Levantian DNA than you think, right? And you said, what did you say to that? I forgot.
I said it's just made up. It's just made up.
See, that's just a hand wave dismissal fallacy.
Now it's just a dismissal fallacy by other whites. Like something tragic happens, like a school shooting or something. You guys want to escape from whiteness to put it on as if not another white ethnic group.
School
That's
shootings?
what that is to me. Like I said, like a tragic event, like a school shooting or a bombing or something.
You're saying
and the person is clearly white. You guys quick to dismiss the whiteness and try to blame it on or trans or anybody else.
You're saying you're saying people are calling it a false flag done by.
No, it's not done by. It's not really. It's done by religion. But the people that are still white, because you have black and they're not a religion. I mean, they're not an ethnic group.
Ethiopian are an ethnic group. We're talking about Ethiopia.
But what ethnic group are the Ethiopians? You have different factions within the Ethiopian society, but that doesn't change the ethnic group. That just changes their religion. Well, I'm black. I'm a black American. I can be a Jew, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm not black American. My ethnicity is still black American. You understand?
Yeah, I understand, but the thing is, Ethiopian is an ethnicity, and you said, what about the Ethiopian is an ethnicity, I think? Did you say that?
Yeah, what do you have different factions within the Ethiopia? You have the, what do you call it, the Hirari, and it's some more like tribes, but this still does not change the fact that they're Ethiopian. It doesn't change the fact.
Yes, and
because you have black, you have white, but their ethnic group doesn't change.
Well, the white would be the Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi, they're European converts.
Yeah, but those technically are the ethnic group, right? There's Ashkenazi, there's the Ethiopian, Mizrahi, etc. All share Levantian DNA.
But yeah, like you said Mizrahi, whatever you just
Mizrahi.
said. But they're still Mizrahi, but they're not. But they're still. You see what I'm saying? Their religious group is not their ethnicity.
Well, the thing is, you think that Judaism has nothing to do with ethnicity.
It has nothing to do. It's a religious denomination. It's not an ethnic group or race.
Okay, but why does the American community label as an ethno-religious people?
Because that's just something that they just made up. You can make up whatever.
That's another hand wave dismissal fallacy.
Yeah, you can be whatever you want to be. You can be whatever you want to be. That does not change their ethnicity. They're still white American.
You just saying it's made up. That's a hand wave dismissal fallacy. That's not like
even the concept of race is made up. It's all made up.
Okay, we can talk about race later. I just want to see if we could probably talk about this first. If like, or white. You haven't really provided any evidence to suggest otherwise. I've provided you sources. I provided you studies. Right, and you haven't really.
Those studies are just still man-made, sir. That does not change the ethnic group of these.
Can you say that first part again?
Benjamin, what you say, sir?
Can you say that first part again?
I said that's just these are all made-up concepts, sir. That does not change their ethnic group. So if you have from Poland, you have from Hungary, you have from Russia, they're still white. They come from white countries. That their background, their religious background is just Judaism. It does not change the ethnic group that they come from. They're just a bunch of white people in the different ethnic groups from Europe. That's
Well,
all it is.
well, I'll just bring it back to my earlier argument. Why are they closer to the Levant DNA?
I haven't heard of Levant DNA until around the year 1943, 44.
Yeah, because this
Where
is
was it before?
science is
What was
always
that
evolving.
before?
Well, science is always evolving, right? Just because you heard about it recently doesn't mean it's incorrect.
I didn't say it was incorrect, but sir, there is no way that you can take a DNA test and it tells you where you come from.
Absolutely, there's been studies done with this. You want to look at them?
There is no test that tell me that I come from Africa and all of my ancestors are here in America. You understand? But if I take a DNA test, it'll say Nigeria but I have my ancestors predate Nigeria. You see what I'm saying? I have my grandmother's grandmother was born in this country. And that was before either country in West Africa was even formed. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, but there has been significant studies done mapping people's ancestry after they were asked what race they are. Right? There's been tons of studies that do that. So there is a way to actually map people back to wherever their DNA is from. Right? There's been tons of studies. If you want to look at them, we can go look at them.
How could that be? How could that be when my ancestors predate all West African countries?
Your ancestors, where do they come from?
My ancestors are all from America.
No, but they were brought to America, right?
No, that's how do we really know that they were brought from? It was only 300,000 brought over, supposedly. Because black people, we are indigenous to the planet Earth. There's a black presence everywhere you go on the planet Earth.
Okay, so I'm understanding. So you don't think that Africans were brought here? Or?
I don't think that they were brought here in the numbers that they say that they were.
Well, okay, so you said it was 300,000?
That's the overall consensus, but we really don't know for sure. Because black people are
what number do you think it is? If you had to guess.
I think it's close. I think it was already black people in America before.
Or were they the natives?
Because Columbus, in Columbus diaries, he thought he was in India because the people were so dark.
Well, Indians have a pretty dark skin, yeah.
Yeah, they have dark skin. See, he thought he was in India, but he was in the West Indies, Jamaica, the Caribbean.
Oh, you said he was in the Jamaica?
He was in what they call Hispaniola. Haiti,
okay,
Jamaica,
but I don't really think that proves that black people have always been in America. Like,
I mean, where did they come from then?
They come from Africa. Black people.
So did you come from Africa?
I don't know. Probably not.
You say civilization started in Africa, right? Well, that would make you African then, right?
Well, the thing about the out of Africa theory is, evolution took place even out of when people left Africa. Let's just say hypothetically it's real. That theory is real. Evolution still, took place when the earliest humans left Africa, right?
It happened to my group too, right? We evolved too. Even if we did come from Africa, which I don't think so. I think black people are indigenous to every continent.
They're indigenous to every continent.
In every continent except Antarctica.
Except Antarctica.
Because if you look at the Australians are not white, sir. Australians are black. Have you seen Aboriginal Australians? They look like me.
Yeah, I've seen Aboriginal.
Have you seen Aboriginal Tasmanians? They look like me, and they were there way before white presence was ever there. They were colonized and murdered, raped, and robbed and pillaged. And the white Australians from Europe assumed the Australian identity.
Okay, why don't they really consider Aboriginals Australian? Like a lot of people there don't.
Because they were colonized, and the conquerors write the story, sir. That's why. The conquerors write the story.
Well, can I get some sources for some things you're saying? Like, you think the black people were indigenous to every continent and country?
I think that black people are indigenous to every continent.
Can I get some sources?
Because there aren't really just sources. The only sources that you have are the people who conquered, sir. Do you think the people that conquer have a duly elected thing to tell the truth? They don't tell the truth, sir.
So you just think a lot of what we learn is white supremacist stuff that's made up.
Of course.
Yet again, that's another hand wave dismissal. That's just
it's the white supremacy, because the white supremacy are the guys who dominated everything. They're the last ones standing to tell the stories. Is it true or not? You guys were the last ones standing to tell the story.
Well, the issue is you saying that is a fallacy in itself. That's the issue.
How is it?
It's a hand wave dismissal saying that's made up white supremacist stuff. That's just a hand wave dismissal.
Sir, all of these authors that write these things are white people. White European people are the last ones standing, so they get to determine whatever the truth is, because no one else is there to challenge it.
Okay, but you have no proof for things you're saying, though. So I don't even know how you come to the conclusion.
Well, why are the Aborigines? Why are the Aborigines down there in Australia? Why are they all pushed to arid desert lands, and all the white Australians living in the best conditions in Australia?
You're saying the Aboriginals are pushed to the deserts in Australia?
Yeah, the original Aborigine.
What is the original Aborigine?
You said the black Aborigines.
You said they're black.
Before?
Huh?
Have you seen them before? Well, they black skin.
They have black
is
skin?
an American ethnicity. They have dark skin. Black is an American ethnicity.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff you're saying it's just not making sense.
Sir,
so the original Aboriginals were black, is what you're saying.
Of course.
Okay, and yet again, I don't know where you're getting this from.
There were no white Europeans in the land of Tasmania or Australia. You guys went there and colonized and took the land from those people, and then you left, and you were the only one left standing to write the stories. So that's all we have to go on. You were not there at first.
No, we don't. It's not all we have to go on, right? You're saying a lot of things that just aren't true, and I don't know where you're getting them from. I don't know where you're learning your sources, man. I don't know.
Sir, so you mean to tell me that white people are native to South Africa?
No, I didn't say that.
To South Africa? I'm just saying.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying a lot of the stuff you're saying that you think black people are indigenous to every country and continent. Like, there's no proof for that. Like,
you almost see a black presence everywhere you go. There's a black presence in Mexico and Latin America.
What does that even mean?
There are black people in Mexico that look like me. Same hair, everything.
That doesn't prove your point.
It does prove my point.
People can live everywhere. People can live everywhere.
But it was an indigenous population first, just like in America.
Okay, so the blacks were native to Mexico as well?
Black people are native to every continent on the planet except Antarctica.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna move forward when a lot of your saying is there's not a lot to go off of. There's not a lot of sources or evidence.
What's your theory? What's your theory?
What's my theory?
I want to know your theory.
Well, I just disagree that black people are indigenous to every continent and country.
I believe they are indigenous. I believe all the black people were sailing across the world before Columbus even,
set sail.
Columbus even set out to sail. Black people are already using wind routes and trade routes to sail all across the Americas, everywhere.
And where are you getting this from?
I get this from I have a source that I just was looking at my source, man. I got sources from the Smithsonian. I got it from African Studies. I mean,
can I get one source? Can I get one?
Oh, let me pull it up for you.
Okay.
Because I was just looking at it.
All right.
Because I was just getting my notes together for you. You kind of caught me off guard.
No, you're good.
I got it from hold on 1 second. Really, basically, I got it from the Smithsonian.
Well, is there like an article or is there like something I can look at? Or
yeah, let me pull it up for you.
All right.
The Studies of African American History. But like I said, you got to understand that all these stories are wrote by the conquerors. They conquered everything, so they were the last ones to the last one standing to give their story. That mean they bum rushed and killed everybody else. So how would I know? So how would you really know?
Well, I mean, yet again, that's just another like hand wave dismissal fallacy, saying that it's made by the conquerors, it's made by the white supremacists, that's why it's false. I mean,
of course,
right? That's just another like fallacy. What was the article titled again?
Hold on 1 second. It says a journal called "Sources of African History" by James Malira.
Sources of African History by
James.
How do you spell Malira?
M-U-L.
M-U-A-L.
IRA.
IRA?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. JSTOR.org?
So what now? Yeah, JSTOR.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a journal page?
Yeah.
Okay, and when you're citing this, what are you citing this to prove? So I can like look for it.
That Africans had a presence all throughout the world. You have the libraries in Timbuktu, Mali. You have written records from.
I don't see where you're getting that from this piece of work. I don't.
You have the digital archive from the University of Washington African Online Digital Library. You have the General History of Africa. I need the screenshot and send it to you.
Yeah, because I mean, I pulled up the piece of paper he gave me, but I don't see where it says that Africans had presence throughout the world.
Then you have the pre-colonial African history. I mean, it's information all over. I mean, I actually been to Mali, and I seen the hieroglyphics on the caves. It's like you can do it, like you can erase history if you conquered everything, but some of the evidence is still over there. You see what I'm saying? It's still over there. It's still over there.
I understand you, but just hand wave dismissing it as it's just the conquerors who made up this stuff. It's just the white supremacists. It's just a fallacy. A lot of your arguments are
It's not a fallacy. It's not a fallacy.
It is. That's a hand wave dismissal fallacy.
So 90% of the school curriculum are run by white people, sir. They get to post whatever. They get to put in the curriculum what you want to learn, what they want to learn. I mean, what they want to teach from them.
Okay, I can go off that. So it's owned by a lot of white people. Okay, you agree?
Of course. The 90% of school curriculum are written by white people.
Well, why would they?
So what do you think?
Then why would they highlight the white involvement in the slave trade? Why would they highlight the white involvement? That would make them look bad.
I mean, I don't know, but the way that the slave trade is looked, it made to look like it's just or just involved.
Not in our school system. No, they don't teach that in our schools.
It's just white people.
Well, they don't teach that they don't teach the Jew involvement in their school system. They only teach the white involvement. And that makes whites look bad. So if it's like the white supremacists or the colonizer whites that are controlling the school system, then this would make no sense. It would make them look bad.
But if they wanted to make the Jew look bad, they would have included the Jew. Because you know why they didn't say.
I don't think you're getting my point.
They didn't include. They said white. They didn't say said white because all you guys are under the same umbrella.
Okay, my point is it makes them look bad. It makes no sense for them to highlight the white involvement. So I don't see your point saying that it's owned by white people, it's owned by the colonizers, the white supremacists. Like I don't see your point. I think you kind of missed my point because you said, well, they could have highlighted the they didn't, right? And I don't know if
I said they could, but I'm telling you the reason why they didn't include the Jew because the Jews are white. That's why they didn't include. They just specifically say.
Okay, well,
can fall under the banner because fall under the banner of white supremacy too.
Well, the issue with that is you want to take a look at genome charts. We can look at genome charts. The Europeans, the North Africans, Middle Eastern, they're all very distinct from each other.
Sir, those things are made up, sir. Those are just made up.
That's another hand wave dismissal fallacy, bro.
The only thing that DNA really is good for is determining next to close of kin.
I mean, that's
That's
just
the only thing I believe DNA tests for. That's the
okay.
only thing I
Just
believe.
you saying it's made up is just another hand wave dismissal fallacy. Like,
But you saying it's true is also a fallacy. Those things
how
say
is it a
for
fallacy if I'm
entertainment
looking
purposes
at
only.
directly at genome charts?
Something that someone made up.
That's yet again, it's another fallacy, bro. It's just hand wave dismissal.
So is race made up?
No.
Race of course is it's a social construct, a made up social construct, sir.
Okay.
There
Wait.
was no
So
race before. There was no issue of race before the 15th or 16th century. There was no issue of race. It was a made up thing.
no, I mean that's just not true. But um, if race is a social construct, I want to ask you a few questions. So is ethnicity also a construct?
It's all made up, sir. It's just a social
Okay. So
construct.
when you take a 23andMe, what does it measure?
Oh look, it's just well, I really don't know what it just measures like genetic markers, I guess.
It tells you your ethnicity, though, right?
Now it does. There was no test to tell you your ethnicity.
That's
There was
what
no test to
23andMe
determine
tells you
that.
your ethnicity.
So if I took a DNA test, I took a 23andMe. It says Nigerian and Cameroonian, and I don't have any relatives from Cameroon. Not at all. My
Those are two
entire
ethnicities you listed, by the way. And if your DNA comes from there, of course you're gonna have very
no that's
past
no
relative. You're gonna have
Cameroonian.
very far away
Cameroonian is not an
relatives.
ethnicity. That's a country. Cameroon is a country, not an
You said
ethnicity.
Cameroonian.
But that means a citizen of Cameroon, not a ethnic group. That's just a citizen of Cameroon.
Is Polish an ethnicity?
Now, Polish is a person of Polish descent who born in Poland or who had Polish descent,
So
like
basically,
Benjamin
that's
Netanyahu's
so
parents.
basically ethnicity, right?
Not nah,
That's basically what ethnicity is, kind of.
Because you can be from Nigeria, but you can be like what's the ethnic group from Nigeria? The Igbo, Fulani. Those are ethnic groups.
Sorry,
You understand? But
the
they're still
Igbo. How do you spell the
Nigerian, but they're
Igbo?
different ethnic groups. So what now?
How do you spell Igbo?
IGBO. I think there's Nigeria or it's an African ethnic group. Igbo. They're black. They're not. But they're not a different ethnic group. They're just a different ethnic group that practices Judaism, just like the
Okay.
white Jew.
Well,
Look up Igbo. Look
wait,
up
hold on.
Fulani.
I looked at Igbo. I was checking if it was an ethnic group. It is an ethnic group, right? But
Of course it is.
I bring up the 23andMe because 23andMe it does measure ethnicity, and they need your DNA to measure your ethnicity. And if you're of Igbo, Nigerian, right, you're black, right?
No, you're African. African and black are two different things.
Oh, can you explain? Because like usually African people are black, right?
Now, African people are African.
African.
Black is an American ethnicity that was created right inside of America. Africans are African. They just have black skin. They're not black. Their ethnic group is Igbo.
That just doesn't sound
My ethnic
historically
group is
sound,
Black
bro.
American.
That's just
So what
not
now?
historically sound. You said black is just
That-
made up.
Of course, it's a made up ethnic group in America.
Well, black wouldn't be an ethnic group. Black would be a race.
Now, black is not a race. Black is an ethnic group.
No, ethnic group would be like German, Polish.
Now those are countries.
But that's the that's the ethnicity of someone. That's the ethnicity, bro.
No sir. See, Africans are African. Blacks are black. Black
Is Nigerian
people
an
are
ethnicity?
specifically- Not Nigerian is a country. See, Igbo is an ethnicity within Nigeria. You understand? You have different ethnic groups within Nigeria. They practice different. They have different food, different cultures, different languages, all under the umbrella of Nigeria. But they're still Nigerian.
Okay.
But they just belong to a different ethnic group. You have the Igbo, you have the Igbo, you have the Fulani. Those are different ethnic groups under the umbrella of Africa. And
Okay,
Africans are not black.
But you also said Polish is an ethnic group. That's like 100% an ethnic group, right?
But what's the name of the group though? I mean,
The ethnic
Benjamin
group, Polish.
Netanyahu's
The
parents
Polish
are
people are,
Polish.
yeah, Polish people. Yeah.
So if Ashkenazi come from Poland, what does that make them?
Makes them.
It makes them white.
No, that's what we discussed earlier. They
It
they
makes
have
them white.
Levantian DNA.
If they come from, so if you have a set of that come from Hungary or Poland or Russia, what kind of people come from those areas, man?
See that I mean that's for the thing is they usually most of their DNA is not coming from those areas. If you're talking about Ashkenazi, a lot of their DNA is coming from the Levant region.
What's the Levant region? The Caucasus Mountains?
No, it's a region in the Middle East.
Sir, there's no such thing as a Middle East, sir. There is no such thing as a Middle East.
Is it just a title? Like what do you mean?
It's just a title. There is no such thing as the Middle East. There is no region called the Middle East. That's just a made up man.
That's just another hand wave dismissal. Let's just.
You say that Egypt's in the Middle East. Egypt's in North Africa.
I didn't say Egypt's in the Middle East. No.
That's what I'm saying. People are saying Egypt is in the Middle East and
Oh.
Jesus comes from the Middle East. There was no region called the Middle East. What the hell is the Middle East, man? What is that?
It's where like is.
Man, is in Africa, North Africa.
What are you talking about, Africa, bro? This is just getting loony. Like, come on.
No, it's not getting loony. This is the truth, man. You don't understand because you brainwashed by the system.
Okay, where's
is it not in the Middle East? It's in Africa.
Like where? Africa. Where in what country used to be or whatever? Like where?
Northeast Africa.
Northeast Africa. Could I get a source for that? Like
it's north. Just look on the map. It's Northeast Africa.
But it's not labeled, right?
It's in Northeast Africa. I'm telling you, Egypt and all.
Just trust me, bro. That's your source. It's just trust me, bro.
There was no region called the Middle East, sir. That's a white supremacist word to take the blackness, the ethnic group from Jesus.
That's just another hand wave dismissal. I'm saying it's a white supremacist made up thing.
It's a white supremacist made up thing, sir. It is. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's just what it is.
I mean, I don't really, dude. That's again, you're just committing fallacies like over and over and over again, and you're getting like basic information wrong. You said Polish wasn't an ethnicity. Like, that's like basic information.
So, but what other ethnic groups come from Poland?
Well, other ethnic groups. Well, Polish is an ethnicity, right?
Well, let's just say if it's an ethnicity. If Benjamin Netanyahu dad comes from that region, what does that make him? Are Polish people white?
Well, the thing is, his DNA would come from the Levant.
No, but are Polish people white?
Yes.
So why Benjamin Netanyahu is not white?
Because he's a Jew.
He's not a Jew. He's a white man. He's a white European that practices Judaism.
If you walked up to him, and asked him what he is, would he say white or Jew?
White. He's just a white European that practices Judaism. That's all that is.
He would say he's a Jew. He wouldn't say he's white.
I don't give a damn. Well, he can say whatever the hell he wants. He still can't change.
Well, you're using him as an example.
Get back up. He's still a white European that practices Judaism. That's all. He's of European descent. His religious denomination is a Jew. That's all it is. His ethnic group doesn't change.
Okay, well, how do you explain groups like the Ashkenazi and the Mizrahi? Those are all just made up. Like, how do you explain that existing?
Those are European converts. That's all it is.
It's all European converts.
European converts, all of them.
Okay, well, they're
not even the biblical to begin with.
You think black people were?
No, I don't think that they were. I believe that some of them are though. Some of them are. They have to be.
Okay, but the thing about the thing is, I cite you studies, like I sent you that one about Levant DNA existing, and it's probably in the Ashkenazi, meaning they're not European and stuff like that. And you kind of just hand wave dismiss it. So I don't really know how we're going to continue the conversation.
Where do they come? Where does the Levant region come? Where does it come from?
It's in the Middle East.
What country?
What country? It's a region of countries.
Like what?
There's for example.
It's not the Middle East. I mean, it's Africa. That's what is Africa.
Yet again, you have
Holy
no
lands.
proof for things like this.
Sir, you have no proof, sir. There's
I've
no way you
been
can just
citing
tell me that
genome charts, sources,
those
studies.
are genome charts. Those are made up charts.
Yet again,
like
another hand wave
concept array
dismissal fallacy.
They're just made up.
It's just another hand wave dismissal fallacy.
There's no way. There is no way you can tell me that. You know the little guys that go around New York City with the little hats. There's no way you can tell me that those guys are not white. Those guys are white.
No, because you think race is just skin deep.
Race is just is something that made up by racists, sir.
Do you think it's just skin deep, though?
They made race to justify enslaving people.
Well, do you think race is skin? Wait, hold on. Do you think race is just skin deep? Like the only difference between me and you is just skin color?
Exactly, sir. When we die, we're gonna turn to ashes and bones.
Okay, so what about
the race is just?
What about the study I brought up earlier? What about the study I brought up earlier? I brought this study up earlier showing that they asked people their race, they told them their race, and they were able to map their race and where they come from based on their DNA.
From some that some other man sat in a lab and made up, just like that.
It's just another hand wave dismissal, bro.
Just listen. What about zodiac signs? Are zodiac signs real?
I don't know. I don't look into zodiac signs.
Exactly. It's just a made up concept.
No, that wouldn't correlate because you're talking about something that's genetic versus the makeup of the stars.
Genetics. I mean, sir, don't you understand that genetics are made up too? The only thing that genetics are really good for is determining next close of kin or paternity.
You said genetics are wait. You said
on Earth that can tell me where I come from.
You said genetics are made up, but then in the next sentence you said genetics are good for this. So are they made up or are they good for this?
It's both, kind of both, really.
So they're made up, but they exist at the same time. That makes zero sense.
Well, they're made up to determine ethnic groups, but they're not made to determine close of kin. You understand?
Wait, you lagged. Can you say that again?
They're not made up. I said they're really used for determining close of kin and paternity, but there is no test on Earth that can tell me my ethnic group because that's just not possible. How the hell are tests going to tell me that I come from somewhere else?
They literally use your DNA and they use genetic markers like they did in this study I told you.
But sir, like if I take a 23andMe test, it cannot tell me that I come from Nigeria, sir, and I have no relatives. My entire
it depends if your ancestry actually does.
There was nothing. My whole existence started in America. My grandmother. So how can I come from Nigeria if Nigeria was not a place when my ancestor was already here? Nigeria just became a place in the 1880s and during the German Convention.
Maybe it was
my ancestors predate that.
Well, maybe it was labeled something else.
So what now?
Maybe it was labeled something else, but you come from there. Right? Just because you're born in America doesn't mean your ancestry doesn't go back there. Like, just because I'm born in America doesn't mean my ancestry doesn't go back to Europe, right?
I can't. I have no ties to Africa whatsoever. I don't know a soul from Africa. Like, sir, how was my 8th or 9th generation grandmother born here before any other country that they say black people were kidnapped from? And I have ancestors that predate that.
Well, was her early family brought on ships from the slave ships?
No, sir.
Was she an immigrant?
Sir. She was not an immigrant.
This makes zero sense.
We are heritage Americans. Heritage.
So this makes zero sense.
Before America was born.
She was either brought, or your early family was either brought on ships or they immigrated here. It's simple.
Now that's just what they teach us at school, sir.
And the school is controlled by the white supremacists.
Of course.
Just another hand wave dismissal, bro.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth.
I mean, you're just saying it's the truth, and you're just saying it's wrong because it's just made up by the white supremacists. But that's just dismissing it. That's just another fallacy over and over and over and over and over again.
But listen to what I'm saying, though. Let me put a little sense into you. White supremacists bum rushed the entire planet, raped, robbed, pillaged everybody, and they were the last ones standing the only ones standing to tell the truth. Their truth, though, not history, his story.
That wouldn't mean the history that I'm talking about would be a lie.
So how in the hell could they said supposedly 300,000. How can the hell can 300,000 become 47 million in 400 years?
How could
How is that possible?
How the hell can 300,000 people repopulate to 47 million?
They stopped the slave. When did they stop the slave trade in America? I think the 18.
It was probably 18 something.
The early 1800s. So how did that become? So they had to stop it because it was already a black presence here. It was already a black presence here. It was black natives and red natives. I mean, it was some Africans that were brought over, but the Africans that were brought over, they mixed in with the black Indians that were already here, and it became a new ethnic group, Black Americans.
Well, the thing is, like the Black Indian stuff, like I doubt you could find any kind of source to prove that exists. And the thing about like, oh, how did 300,000 people turn into 47 million? Well, the slaves were allowed to reproduce, right? Like it's not like they weren't allowed to.
But the slave trade stopped at a certain point,
right? But the thing is, the thing is, they were allowed to reproduce, right?
There were not that 300. There were not that many Africans that came over here like that. I mean, it was some Africans that came over here in the fifth. I believe the first Africans arrived on the shore in 1526 by white Spanish.
On the shore of America or the
shore of America.
Okay.
By the white Spanish.
By the white Spanish, I mean, like who? Can I get some names? What about some names?
Ponce de Leon. Can you look up Ponce de Leon?
Ponce de Leon. How do you spell de Leon?
Deleon.
Juan Ponce de Leon?
Yeah.
Okay. This is him right here. Spanish explorer and conquistador. Give me 1 second here.
Juan Gerardo.
You said he brought slaves here?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Who else?
Hernando de Soto.
I think that's how you spell that.
You like her Hernando de Soto.
Okay.
And last but least, Christopher Columbus.
You say he was a what? Do you think he's or no?
No, he's a white Italian.
Okay, well I thought Columbus was Spanish.
Columbus was an Italian. He was a white Italian.
Hold on.
Like he's Spanish or Italian. You know that y'all kind of all the same. It's just a different ethnic group in Europe. I believe he was either Spanish or Italian.
Okay,
I think he really was Italian.
Okay. Will you agree Italian's like an ethnicity?
Of course it is.
Okay. I don't. You said earlier the ethnic groups that are named weren't ethnicities, like Polish, like
that Italians. That they were different, like an ethnic group within the European bucket.
Yes, I agree with that.
Within the European bucket, but are they white?
Italians,
white?
Italians
are. Of course they are.
Yeah.
But at first they weren't white. At first they weren't.
No, that's not true.
Because they only became white after they came to the United States. They were calling these guys and everything, sir. They were calling them. They were discriminate against the Irish. They were discriminate against.
I'm Irish, bro. They were always considered white. So here's the thing about the Irish and Italian argument.
Irish were led into whiteness.
No, the Irish and the Italian were always considered white. I am part Irish myself, right? So just because there's
United.
infighting, well, let me finish. Let me finish. Just because there's
Okay, I
infighting
got you.
in groups, just because there's infighting in groups doesn't mean they weren't white. Infighting happens in every single group, right? And they wouldn't have been allowed to
Right.
naturalize here, the Irish, the Italian, without the Naturalization Act, which clearly stated that only white people of good character were allowed to naturalize. So them naturalizing literally proves they were always considered white. Was there discrimination? Absolutely. I don't deny that, but that doesn't mean they weren't.
But they were led into whiteness. That white people here in America let them into whiteness.
They were always
Because
considered white.
you guys were not considered white at first,
We
Irish or
were. That's
Italian.
you want to quote some
You're not
sociologists?
white until the 1920s. That's when they let you into whiteness. Look it up.
No,
It's
that's
there.
not true. I'll quote you sociologists that literally disagree with this. Like I can quote you sociologists. Like I'll read this one here. Philip Q. Yang and Kavitha Koshi have questioned whether they call the becoming white thesis, noting that Irish Americans have been legally classified as white since the first U.S. Census in 1790. That Irish Americans were legally white for the purposes of the Naturalization Act of 1790 that limited citizenship to free white persons. And they could find no legislative or judicial evidence that the Irish Americans have ever been considered non-white.
The Irish, they didn't consider you guys white until you got to the United States. They called the Italian. They used to
There's
actually
slurs
lynch
for
Italians.
there's slurs for all groups, but that doesn't mean they're not
Sir,
white.
yes, it does. They let you guys into whiteness. You were let into whiteness.
No, we were literally allowed to
You
naturalize
guys
under the
have
Naturalization Act at the time, sir, because the Naturalization Act only
why come
allowed
they
white
didn't let you
people.
guys practice your Irish culture when you got here?
Sorry?
Because you had to. Why didn't they let you guys practice Irish culture when you got here? You had to leave all that on the ship when you got over here.
If
And they
that
let you
I don't
into
I don't
whiteness.
know. I don't know if that happened, but if that did happen, that's just discrimination, but that doesn't mean they weren't white.
That means they weren't white.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
So if a Jew person that practices Judaism comes from Ireland, are they white?
If they're Jew,
If they practice Judaism, are they white?
well, I gotta ask a clarifying question. So, are they just religious, or are they like ethically, racially, like?
No, the ethnicity doesn't change. They're still
Do
white
do they
Irish.
have DNA? Is what I'm asking. Like, if they took a
There
DNA
is
test,
no
would it
such
say
thing as
Ashkenazi?
Jewish DNA. There's
Well,
no such thing as
okay,
Jewish
well,
DNA.
hold on. If they took a 23andMe, would it say they're Ashkenazi?
No, it would say that it would say, you know what I'm saying? It would probably say that they're white, probably.
Okay, it'd
That's what it
probably
would
say
probably.
they're Irish.
But what kind of people come from Ireland though?
The Irish people, white.
But exactly, so their ethnicity doesn't change. They're just
But
they're
the
just
don't come
religious
from
Jews. That's
Europe.
it.
Don't come from Europe. They come from the Levant.
What is the country called Levant? I've never heard of
That's
that.
a region. That's not a country.
What region?
It's a region in the Middle East. It has in it. Like I said, for example,
Sir, what kind of people were in before 1944?
1944, probably the Palestinians. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Benjamin Netanyahu, his dad is from Poland and his mother is from Europe. Wouldn't that make him a European?
No, that Palestinian argument doesn't actually prove your point. It would actually prove my point
No, I'm
because
just saying,
if their
I'm
DNA
talking
comes
about
from the
Benjamin
Levant
Netanyahu.
region and then before 1940 it wasn't it was Palestinians, it would just prove they don't really have European DNA.
They have European DNA, sir. If Benjamin Netanyahu's father's from Warsaw, Poland, what kind of DNA does he have?
He's born there, but they are.
Sir, his religion is a Jew.
No, they are like if they take a test, they would say Ashkenazi.
There's no such thing as an Ashkenazi. Those are European converts. They converted from Europe.
Okay, then why do they need your DNA to figure that out if it doesn't exist?
It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as.
Well, why? Wait, hold on. You got to answer the question. Why? Well, why do they need your DNA to figure out if you're Ashkenazi?
Because they can just take your DNA and just put it up against any thing and say they can take your DNA and say this person from Australia.
So you think 23andMe is just gonna lie?
I think 23andMe is a bunch of. That's why they had like a 40% drop in their sales because it's just.
I mean, that's just another like
DNA test.
well, that's just another like hand wave dismissal, bro. Like just saying it's just shit.
Like there is no way that I'm from Nigeria, have DNA from Nigeria, and I have ancestors who predate Nigeria. I'm talking about 100 to 150 years older than Nigeria. How the hell am I from there?
How do
How
you're
the hell
from
do I have DNA
Nigeria?
from
Your
there?
ancestors came from Nigeria. If you are,
That there is no, my ancestors are from here.
but
They're from here.
no. The thing is, their ancestors originate from there.
Like says who?
When you
Or
take
some test that
tests,
somebody made up.
it's not made
You
up. When
know
they
white
needed your
supremacists,
DNA to
white
find that out.
supremacists say all black people come from Africa, and you know that's not true. All black people do not come from Africa, sir.
Okay, where do all black people come from then?
Black people are indigenous to the planet.
Like that's
Like
just
been
that's just
telling
not
you.
true. Like the source you
Like,
provided
so,
me didn't even prove that.
so listen. So did white people originate from Africa? If civilization started in Africa,
They originated from Europe.
Europe, sir, Europe. How did they originate from Europe and civilization started in Africa? That would make me and you African. We have African ancestry.
I mean, it technically wouldn't make us African because you know if the theory is true, the out of Africa theory, it wouldn't make us African that people came out of Africa because evolution still continued outside of Africa, right?
I know it did. So my evolution started here and ended here. I am a what you call a 110% heritage American.
Your
I
evolution
have no
started in
African. I
America,
have
you
no
said?
African on either side of my family. None of it. Can you believe that? No African. Do I look African to you?
Yes.
I am my own ethnic group. I am my own ethnic group.
Well,
Black
you
Americans
do.
are different from Black Americans are from here.
Well, you do look African, and
You feel me?
you're 100% your
Don't
ancestors
look African.
originate from Africa.
No, sir. I can't tell you not a single person that's from Africa that I know. None of it.
Well, all your
But
ancestors
you
originate from
come
Africa,
direct.
bro.
Your people come directly from Europe. Mine don't come directly from Africa.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Because you can you trace your people back to Africa? I mean, can you trace your people back to Europe?
If
You say you can trace your
back to
ancestry
Europe,
back
if I
to
take a DNA
Ireland.
test, yeah.
Now, but you said a 23andMe told you that you came from Ireland, but we all know there was an influx of European peasants that come from Europe.
Yeah, my
We know
DNA
this.
originates from there.
Yeah,
Like
they
if it says
originated here. They
I'm
came
Irish,
here.
Polish, and Scottish, so
Scottish people aren't white.
they are white.
So if a white person that's Irish practices Judaism as a religion, does they still take away from their white ethnic background?
Oh, does it change their ethnic background? No.
It doesn't change their ethnic background.
No. If they're practicing a Judaism?
Exactly. So how the hell are a different ethnic group from the place that they come from?
That's it's not.
You talking about Levantine region? What country are Levantine? What country is that? What region is that?
That's a region in the Middle East. And to address the thing, yes, obviously non can convert. It takes like a long process though, so it's like very unlikely. So most likely, if you are a part of Judaism, you most likely have DNA. And it's stupid to deny there's Ashkenazi, there's Mizrahi, there's Ethiopian, there's Sephardic. Like you can like literally all I need to do is point to a 23andMe and it will show people this, right? We can put the genome charts as well. It will show that each race has a different category. They cluster differently. They don't overlap.
They overlap significantly because there was no way that a person there was no such thing as a ethnicity, sir. It's just a religious denomination. That's all it is.
Well, I provided you studies showing that Ashkenazis have Levantine DNA.
What is Levantine DNA? What is that?
People who come from the Levant.
What region is that?
That's a region in the Middle East.
What region is Levant?
That's a region in the Middle East.
What country, sir? Turkey? I mean, Turkmenistan.
It's a broad spectrum of countries, right? For example,
sir, So it's a made up term for white supremacists to escape
That's another
accountability.
hand wave dismissal fallacy, bro.
It's just another blanket term for when white people, when they want to escape whiteness, they put it on another group. Where it wasn't a white person that killed this, it was a
Well,
is a
that's a hand wave dismissal fallacy yet again. Like,
it's not.
it is. When you just say it's just white supremacist stuff that's made up, that's a hand wave dismissal. That's you committing a logical fallacy.
It's not a fallacy, sir, because there is no ethnicity that are, and there's no race that is. It's a religious denomination. That's all it is.
Okay, yeah. What about, like, I'll bring it back to this. Like, what about the American community calling an ethno-religious group? Like, what about that?
They can say whatever they want. They call me black. White people gave me black. It's just something that made up, right? Am I black?
Well, yeah, because you come from Africa.
I don't come from Africa. I am from the United States.
Your ancestry is what I mean when I say that.
I don't come from Africa, sir. I'm completely dismissed from Africa. I have a whole new culture, language, and everything that's not African.
That would be like saying I don't come from Europe. That makes no sense.
But when did your parents get here? When did your ancestors
about 10 generations ago.
Well, sir, you are an American just with European ancestry, like me. I may have like some ancestors that come from a long time ago, but those chains are broken.
But you can't deny your ancestry goes back to there.
I don't know. I can't say for sure that it does because I don't know.
But 100%, your ancestry would 100% go back to Africa.
The only thing that I know is what I was taught in school. They say we come from Africa, but I don't really know that for sure.
Well, you can totally, dude. We can totally know that Africans, black people, come from Africa. Like that study I mentioned earlier, they were able to map out every person that said they were black, and it was African Americans specifically. They tested in this test.
So I have no ties to Africa, sir.
No, you do. That's the thing. In this study, they literally tested African Americans in this study, right? This 2005 study.
We're not African, sir. There was nothing about me that's African whatsoever.
You're 100% African. Like, did you actually just say that?
Now I am 100% American, sir. I'm not African.
You are African. If we did this exact study and took this test, you would 100% land back in Africa.
My grandmother's grandmother was from this country. We were here before.
See,
before the United States was a country.
Well, that point makes no sense.
When the United States was established, I became American.
Well, that point makes no sense because you said your grandmother was born here, didn't immigrate, didn't come from a ship, didn't come from a slave ship. So that, if she didn't, her ancestors would have, and you said your ancestors didn't.
They didn't. I said my grandmother's grandmother is from here.
Okay, where does her ancestors come from?
You know how long that is?
Well, how?
So what now?
Where does her ancestors come from? Your grandmother's ancestors.
They from here.
No, it makes no sense. It doesn't.
They're from here.
No, bro, it just makes no sense. Her ancestors either came on a ship or migrated.
Like, sir, I am 100%. I know nothing about Africa whatsoever. When black people came, I can admit that it was some Africans that come over, but it was already a black presence that was here before Africans came over. Just like you, sir, you can go and you can ask your family. You know what directly what country and borough, street, or whatever you came from in Europe. I can't tell you where I came from because all my ancestry starts here. All of it.
I mean, dude, that just doesn't make any sense. Like your ancestry 100% traces back to Africa, and if we need your DNA to figure that out, that would mean race is genetic.
No, sir. There is nothing about me that is African. I'm not an African. I'm not a continental African.
Would you say you have a nose of an African or no?
I have a nose of a black American.
Right, but where do black people?
I'm a black American.
When you say black, what do you really mean?
I mean, black is a specific ethnic group that was created in America.
No, but black people usually, typically, probably not every single black person, but black people usually originate from Africa.
Listen. Black American is an American ethnicity, sir.
Well, American would be
It
a
was created in
nationality.
America. It's an ethnic group in America. My nationality is American,
Yeah, that's what I said.
but my ethnic group is Black American. Jamaicans are not black. Caribbeans are not black. Africans are not black. Jamaicans are Jamaican. Caribbeans are Caribbeans. Africans are African.
Okay, I see what you're. I've
We
heard
look
this before.
vastly
How
different
how
from
are
Africa.
Jamaicans not black? Don't their ancestry also originate from Africa? Or
They're Jamaican. That when they got to Jamaica, they had an ethnic genesis and they became Jamaican.
what do you mean?
Just like when we had an ethnic genesis, became a whole new ethnic group. You don't call Jamaicans African Jamaicans. You don't call Caribbeans African Caribbeans. You call them Jamaicans or you call them Caribbeans.
Right? Wait, can you say that point again?
I said we had an ethnic genesis. Became a whole new ethnic group, just like Black Americans. We became a whole new ethnic group. We're not African. Where the hell you get that? Where you getting this shit from? Like we African? What the fuck does that come from?
Because your ancestors originate from there. That's the
But we're
point.
still not African, sir. We are American. I am an American.
Well, okay,
Sir,
so are you black or no?
Black Americans are one of the oldest ethnic groups in America.
Well, are you black or no?
I'm a Black American.
Okay, well, if you're black, your ancestors would originate from Africa, correct?
Black was created within the confines of the United States, sir.
That's just.
Oh, you're not hearing what I'm telling you?
I am hearing what you're telling me. It just doesn't make sense.
It does make sense, sir. Why you're not a European white American?
Because Americans are white.
No, Americans are black too.
No, I mean, no, I disagree with that.
Now you don't have to disagree. It doesn't matter what you say, sir. I am a 110% American.
Right.
My ancestors have been here since the 1500s, sir.
Okay.
I can trace my lineage back to the 1500s. I can trace my lineage back to the plantation that my parents were on in America.
Okay, so none of your ancestry originates from Africa.
Have you heard of Ole Miss? University of Ole Miss?
The universe of the Old Miss, you said?
I mean, University of Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Yeah, I know University of Mississippi.
My ancestors were enslaved in Oxford, Mississippi, sir. They were not in
Africa.
They
came from Africa. That's the thing. They
didn't come from Africa.
Where did they come from then?
They come from here.
That makes no sense because the Africans were brought on ships.
Yeah, some Africans were brought on ships.
Some
Africans were brought on ships. But when they came to America, they became American. Sir, my ancestry is older than Jamaica. My ancestry is older than all of the countries in West Africa. They just became countries in the late 1880s.
Okay, but they would still be able to pinpoint a region.
It cannot pinpoint a region, sir.
If you took a DNA test, yes, it would tell you where your ancestors are from, even if it's a different country labeled. It's a different labeled country.
There was no test can tell you where your ancestors came from, sir. Those are made up.
That's just another hand wave dismissal fallacy, bro. Like
that's just another white supremacy. There's just another white supremacy. What you call it? I'm white and I say so. That's all it is. I'm white and I say so.
That's not what it is at all. We're actually using DNA from humans. We're actually studying these things, and you're just saying nuh-uh.
No, there was no test that can tell you that where you come from, sir. What test is gonna tell you? So if I could take a test right now, it'll tell me that I come from Mississippi.
No, it's not gonna say you come from Mississippi.
So how the hell can it tell me that I come from Nigeria then?
Because that's where your DNA originates from.
No, that DNA doesn't originate from no. All DNA originates from Africa. The oldest human being.
Right, but these tests don't go back that far. Tests don't go back that far. Tests don't go back that far.
So that lets you know this shit is made up. That's how
That's
you
not,
know
that
it's
doesn't
made up.
prove it's made up. The tests don't go back
Get it?
that
The
far.
DNA test. It says it clearly says on the paper for entertainment purposes only.
I don't even know
It
where you're
clearly
getting
says
that. I
that.
don't even know where you're getting that. Like, where are you getting this?
It says for entertainment purposes only.
On the DNA test?
Just lets you know. But I still can't believe that you think I'm an African American. Like, sir, I'm an American. I'm a Black American.
But don't they label you
I'm
African
from,
American?
I'm not an African American. That term just came about in 1988 from Jesse Jackson. We were called Negro. We were called Indian. We were called Negro. We were called colored. I'm not an African American. Elon Musk is an African American. Charlize Theron is an African American. They come directly from Africa and was immigrant. Sir, I'm not an immigrant. You trying to call me an African American as if I'm an immigrant. I'm not an immigrant. My parents weren't immigrants. My great grandparents weren't immigrants. We're not immigrants.
Well, the thing is, you originate from somewhere, and it's not America. Like, that's
Now
just factually like false.
we originate from here. We from here.
That just makes zero sense, bro. Like,
Yeah, I know it makes zero sense because you're not talking to a low vibrational person. You're talking to me.
oh, your high
We don't come
consciousness,
from Africa, sir.
your high consciousness.
You don't call. Do you call a Jamaican a African Jamaican? Do you call them that?
No, I call them black.
No, they're not black. They're Jamaican. They don't even call themselves black.
What do they call themselves? Just Jamaican?
They call themselves just Jamaican.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap it up here then, because I don't even think we're gonna get anywhere really with this conversation. But
We can't. I thought you want to talk about chattel slavery just for 1 second.
you want to talk about slavery for a second?
Yeah, just give me 2 minutes. What are your thoughts on slavery?
What are my thoughts on slavery? I think it was a bad thing.
Yeah. But do you think that it was? Do you think that white people created a new version of slavery?
Created you mean chattel-based race slavery?
Yes.
I actually don't know who created it.
I think white people created race-based slavery. You guys created that slavery because there was no other form. There was no other form of slavery that was race-based anywhere in the world.
Okay,
was
you know where
all
the word
indentured
slave
servants.
comes from?
It comes from slave, but it's a different form of slavery, sir.
No, but the thing
Slavery
is,
that white
the word slave comes from Slav, and those are white people. So you saying it's not racial? Like, come on.
No, it's not racial. It's not racial because the chattel U.S. based chattel slavery was the first of its kind.
What do you mean? You're saying they specifically targeted a race?
You specifically target black people to enslave them.
That
based
makes
off
no.
the
That makes
concept of
no.
race.
Listen, that makes zero sense because the Irish were actually the first slaves in America. So were they targeting white people?
No, they were indentured servants, not race-based.
No, they actually were not indentured
servants.
servants. Listen, they actually were not.
They were indentured servants.
No, there weren't indentured servants. Look, this is the Oxford definition of a slave. A slave is a person who is the legal property of another and is bound to absolute obedience, a human chattel. The Irish were that.
Listen. Look up. Just look up. Were white people ever enslaved based on race? Look it up. Just look it up. Irish were indentured servants, not race-based chattel slaves, sir. There's no way you can say that.
Well, yeah. I mean, there has been.
Enslaved?
I looked it up. While white people were frequently enslaved through history, though historically this was rarely based on skin color or race. So it is highlighting some instances.
No, sir. You guys were indentured servants. You never were race-based slaves. You were indentured servants. Black people.
Why do they fall under the?
Based on skin color.
Well, why do they fall under the definition of slavery, the Oxford definition, the Irish?
Because it's the same reason why football falls under the definition of sports. It's a different kind.
A different kind of slavery. But you said they weren't even slaves.
They were indentured servants. It was a form of slavery, but it was not race-based slavery like what my people went through. We were specifically enslaved based on race. After the concept of race was created by white people, we were the first ones.
Okay, so your people were enslaved based on race, but the Irish, they were not enslaved based on race. Is what you're saying?
Indentured servants.
Why were they discriminated
Indentured
towards then?
servants.
Why were they discriminated?
It has nothing to do with race-based
No,
slavery.
come on. They were
Nothing.
discriminated, bro. Come on.
No, they would work 4 to 7 year contracts, and when their contract was finished, they can integrate into society, they can own land, they can run for public office.
You literally highlighted earlier
what
that
it-
the Italians and the Irish weren't considered white, which they always were considered white, but you also highlighted they went through discrimination.
They went through discrimination after the concept of race was introduced into the world.
That doesn't make any sense, bro.
Yes, it does, sir. You guys invented race and racism, and you took that concept that you created and you enslaved people based on race. And black people are the only one that's enslaved based on race.
Okay, well, if race is made up, why do I need my DNA? Why do I need my DNA to do those tests where it highlights where my ancestry is from?
Because I just told you, it's all made up bullshit.
That's just a hand wave dismissal fallacy, bro. Like,
it's not, man. You're not talking to a dummy, man. You're not talking to somebody who just fell off the dumb truck. You guys were never race-based chattel slaves. You guys were indentured servants.
they were,
you only were enslaved
under the Oxford definition.
7 years.
Under the Oxford definition, they are labeled slaves and they experience discrimination. You agree?
Of course, I said it. You indentured slaves. You indentured slaves. Then put it there. You were never
No, not indentured
chattel
slave. The
slaves.
definition of slavery is slaves.
Sir, we were race-based chattel slaves.
Why
based
were
on
then the Irish?
skin.
The Irish did experience discrimination. Why?
The Irish were indentured servants, sir.
Like I said, I just proved to you they were slaves.
Of course, I said they were slaves, but they were indentured servant slaves.
There's a difference between that and the definition of slavery.
Black people were indentured servants too, but after the Bacon's Rebellion, when race was created, you started to enslave people based on skin color.
What year was race created then? I'll bite. I'll bite.
The race was created in somewhere between the 15th and 16th century by European thinkers, and it was codified into government in the colonies of the United States.
Okay, how do you explain disparities between races then? How do you explain the disparities between the races then?
Because it was something that races created. They just created.
No, you're not understanding my question. You're not understanding my question. How do you explain the disparities between the races? Like, you agree, like, some races are better at certain races than other things?
No, I wouldn't just say that. People just. I believe it's just a mentality thing, in my opinion. Like,
just a mentality
white
thing.
White people are faster than black people are faster than white people. It's only based. It's just just God given. I guess I don't know. It has nothing.
Your
to
answer
do with,
is I don't know. That's your answer.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can't explain the disparities between the races. So, like, and you say things like genes are made up. These things would explain that.
These things are made up, sir. They are made up.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Just like zodiac signs. Just like is the concept of race made up, sir?
No.
What race is an Asian person?
You just said it.
Asian, that's not a race.
What is it?
That's the place that they come from.
What race is, bro. That's what race is.
What race is an Asian person?
You just said it.
The Asian is not a race, sir. Because
the race is where the people come from.
Because Indians are Asian too.
You could technically they are classified as such, yes.
Are they? That's not. Indians are not race. It's not Asian.
You literally just said they're classified as Asian.
That's just where they come from. That's not their race.
That's what race is. Race is a group of people descended from certain ancestry.
So what race are Indians?
What race are Indians?
Yeah.
Technically Asian, right?
They come from Asia. That doesn't make their race Asian. So what race are Mexicans and Latinos?
They're
What
Hispanic,
race are
right?
they?
Or they're brown,
Hispanic
Hispanic.
just means people that come from Spanish-speaking countries. That's not a race.
You said
Hispanic
Hispanic?
means people that come from a Spanish-speaking country. You have white Spanish people that are Hispanic. So
People
do
that
you
come from
consider
Spain, that's Europe, right? But it's different from people that come from like Mexico.
so are Mexicans white?
No,
Exactly.
that doesn't
Race is only
disprove my
between black
point.
and white people, man.
That doesn't disprove my point.
Race is only between black and white people. We are the only two that classify ourselves as race, black and white.
What do you mean by that?
Race is only a thing in the Americas. It's either
Race is
black or
only a
white.
thing in the Americas, bro. Do you hear yourself?
Exactly. It's only a thing between black and white people.
It's
What
only a
race? What
thing that
race?
exists in America.
What race are Hawaiian people?
Um, maybe black. Let's just say that.
No, they're not black. They don't go by race. Even countries in Europe don't go by race.
But what you're doing is you're saying, oh, they don't go by race to try to disprove my point. I did the same thing with Netanyahu. Netanyahu will call himself a Jew, and you said, I don't care what Netanyahu says.
I don't give a because
Okay, you're not understanding my point. You're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing I was doing to you, right? But then you're thinking your point is valid when you didn't think my point was valid when I did the same thing.
What race are Brazilian people?
Black
What
or
race
South.
are they?
Not sorry. I almost just said black, but usually like brown, right? That's a racial category.
That's brown is not a race.
It's a racial category.
It's not a race.
It's a cat.
I
So,
just told
listen,
you, race
I
only
didn't say
exists in the
it's a
United
racial
States between
category.
black and white people. These people were not going by race. That's how I know white people were the first to enslave people based on race. You guys were the first ones to do that.
See, brown is a racial
All these other,
category, highlighting many races,
all these
right?
other, all these. So what race? What race is people from the Aborigine, the original Australian? What race are they?
Well, I actually don't know.
Exactly, because race only exists in the United States, and it's only
No,
two categories:
bro,
that's
that's
black and white. That's
no,
it.
it doesn't only exist in the United States, bro.
Yeah,
That's just like just not
it only
true.
exists in the United States, and it only exists in the minds of white supremacists. You
No.
guys made up these things,
Okay, like
not us.
they're
You
like
made
okay,
these
let's
things
highlight
up.
Australia. Let's highlight Australia. They have white Australians, black Australians, right?
Yeah, I mean, but the Australians, they're
Yeah,
not
so
black.
then race is not only a thing in America. Like, yeah.
But those whites that are in Australia came from Europe. They're not native to Australia.
Oh my god, bro.
They're not native to Australia, sir. The Dutch and all the Dutch went down there, colonized. What else? And they went down there and colonized Tasmania.
Okay.
It's sir, race is only between black and white people, man. Because the Indians are not a race. They don't call themselves a race. The Chinese are not a race. If they from China, if they Chinese, that mean they just come from China. That doesn't say what their race is.
Okay. Well,
Now, am I lying or what? Am I lying or what? They don't
well, I
call
mean,
themselves
I don't think we're gonna come to an agreement. We can agree to disagree,
because
right?
we can't come, sir, because what you've been taught is just racist, man. It's to make you guys look superior and smarter than everybody else, and that's just not the case. It's not the case.
Okay. Well, I appreciate
It's
your
just not
time.
the
I
case.
appreciate your time, my friend. I do appreciate your time.
I
I am gonna
appreciate
get
your
on
time
to.
too, man.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate your time. I'm gonna get on to my next segment. If you want to shout out anything, just go ahead.
And I just want to shout out, man, peace to the entire world, man. I really appreciate your time, but hey, I'm not one of those guys that just half with it, man. I know what I'm talking about. But
Okay.
but I wish you the best in life, man.
I wish you two the best of life. Appreciate you and have a good day, my friend.